because it's way easier with editing. We're going to start with Sorrowlessfield by Jay Kenyon, also known as Eichel Tower. And Kenyon, way back when, was in Rookie with me and Golfwolf. And I think in his most recent courses, he's really started to find his stride. Although I loved Alpha Sand Dunes way back in the old game. This one, very different vibe. So open kind of country sort of style. Hi, Matty. Thank you for that. Yeah, YouTube hates it if there's music going on, so we're going to cut that. He kind of quietly picked away at this. He's very active in the Discords and like great fun in there. But we didn't, because he's on PS4, we didn't get that many updates on pictures. But there's some really cool stuff around the plot, particularly, and we're going to go and have a little visit at this now. This little rock wall all the way through the plot, which looks class. You're not getting tunes. It gets me censored, and it's just not worth it. Which must have taken a hell of a lot of work, and looks just awesome. So I dread to think how much time this took you on PS4 with the click, wait 5-6 seconds, click, and I'd be stunned if this doesn't prove to be like a. You can see how already how it's intersecting one hole. Like there's going to be some fun ways to play around that as a natural hazard. Also got some water and fields. It's so hot right now, and a cool little town. Also, we love those. Maybe 30 minutes. Bullshit. No chance. Now, one thing I will say is that I'm liking immediately is I think bunker work is by a mile your best. So last year, bunkers on Knobs Creek, I think, were probably not the strongest point of the course, but these look great. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this. I think this is meant to be slightly more difficult. He's said that wins should be medium, if not higher than that. We've gone with medium because the game sometimes goes crazy. Fun first green complex, like gentle slopes. For a reachable-ish par 5. Fairway shaping, I think we can make this corner a little bit neater with how it hugs the bunker a bit more, but just the transition feels a little angular, but I don't mind it. It's more a stylistic thing. Bunkering looks great off the tee. Really like the kind of low. What's the word I'm looking for? Unobtrusive planting. Like it's there and it fills out really nicely, but it just looks good. The sunken trees down here on the left hand side work really well. Well, that is good to hear. Yeah, cross bunkering looks good. I might have been tempted to raise these even more so they obscure the front of the tee, or lower this bit of land just so you can see those bunkers a little more. And I'm not sure how I feel about this little mound here deflecting balls that are coming in. I don't feel that's necessarily what you want. It's more sculpting this part of the bunker. So if you took this bit of land and shunted it just this way a couple of feet, I think you get a more. Although it's feeding into this slope. I think I would personally try and reward people playing close to the bunker. But again, personal choice. I think I will be okay with front of the green. He says probably very fasting it into the wilderness. Yeah, on into. You could definitely use that little spine at the back to redirect balls. If you're trying to use it to redirect balls, you probably want more red slope on there than like the light orange, but equally the light orange I would say is probably more difficult. Little bits of the green, like these light green slopes, I really like. I think they add a ton of interest to greens without being too penal. Really like the tree choices as well. I think this works really nicely. I think we can see back here we could use a bit more undergrowth or like just base planting, but background planting is what we're looking for.
Well done.
But yeah, fun. I suspect the game. Oh, that's the other thing I will need to do. For whatever reason, the computer, when it's on this, decides to play the PGA Tour music. Maybe not. It's fine. If there's game music going on, we can deal with that. Yeah, sculpting around the bunkers, this is now definitely a miss, I would say. When we go up really, really close, that bit is dropping very steeply and that bit less so. You can't hear game music? Fine. And all good. Cool green complex, little lion's mouth. I think, again, sculpting could be a little better around this one. Just what's made it difficult here has been the tree shadow. So you can't really see it, but if we zoom around to here, that bit being high is causing you some problems. Awesome look off the tee. Elevation change means we can really try and pinch. I like the way you've done the lion's mouth, actually. The elevation change and where you put the bunkers works really nicely for making that tee shot work. I'll get into the bunker. Not a good tee shot. Love that our first introduction with the rock wall isn't being right up close to it. I think that's a really smart move. Go just a little. Oh, that went further than I anticipated. That really leapt on. I'm wondering why. Not a huge amount to critique. That's an awful part. Not a huge amount to critique so far. Exactly. That's what I'm putting that down to. I might have broken this area up with a couple of trees or something, but yeah, sprinkler head. I really like the way you brought the trees in just here, and I'm really glad you haven't brought them in over this side, because we've seen a couple of like these shoot par threes recently. And I think being up this close and having it on one side feels great. Cool green complex. The slopes aren't stupid, but it's like I think you've nailed your greens so far in a way that I haven't really seen you do before. In that there are clear sections, but you're not. It's not all or nothing. Like the gentler slopes between them really make it work. Bunkering is just so much better as well. That's an almost geometric circle at the back. The trees all follow a pattern. I'm not getting into any of this. There's a shot.
That was good. This one's just a 5-footer.
Yeah, I've only got a very small window this afternoon, so I might be able to get 2 done. Definitely going to get 1. I just need to try and chip away at these now. Okay, so now hitting over the rock wall, which is cool. Short par 4. Okay, so camber gently rolls down this way. I think you could be even bolder with how the fairway falls off on this side. It depends on what difficulty you're going for. I think you're going like CC/elite potentially. Was what was on the form. I'm going to roll off anyway. Excellent, you did go bold. Love it.
Second shot on the 4th.
Oh no, I think the clouds work really well here. Like, this is one of those where I don't think it's too dark when it's behind the clouds. And it's also the sort of course where you'd expect it to be cloudy. Hey, goodness. Yeah, we had to restart the stream a couple of times due to potential copyright issues. Even though it's copyright-free music, YouTube does not get that. Not quite.
Hey, I'm liking that one. Nice chip. Well, that holds behind us. Let's move.
I feel like we've had a I'm looking forward to our first like long. So 2 more 4s. I'm hoping we're going to vary distances a little bit. Cool. So we've got short, potentially drivable in different conditions, par 4. Very much based off the pit at North Berwick, which is just class. AFS. Love this. I mean, what I would have probably liked to see would be you. It is, yeah. Raise up this bit of land as well, so the ball, like this slope here, is more consistent. Because I think if we're landing this side, you want people to be really pitching down a consistent slope rather than like the first bit being this slope great, but like let's also just make that feed on even more continually. And one thing, if you're really trying to ramp up difficulty, not suggesting you are, I think you've done the slopes, I'd just exacerbate them. So you've got a little mound here where it's feeding back in, but then run off here and run off here to penalise you if you're not perfect. Really like the whole design. Might have allowed a bit more space out here, personally. And like, I think we've got bits of fairway that we probably don't need. Yeah, like allow your space out here, because if people want to play a 5 wood or 3 wood down to here, let them. I don't think it's worth hitting driver. It's just a 3 wood hole today.
Nice, pure swing, great stuff.
Somewhere down the middle is fine.
Here's our second shot on the
I think the terrain work, I like the undulations. I think they're a little on the messier side, but I think it fits. Yeah, really enjoying this so far. The views to the other holes are good.
This one's looking good. I'm having that. This putt is for birdie.
Oh,
right by.
Dreadful, dreadful putt.
And drop.
So the other thing, in case you haven't yet seen, last night we had the Dream Team draw, or rather the matchup stream. So we now know who everyone is facing off against. So I can't, on singles day, we can now actually commentate on and say who this one's up against. So this one unfortunately is rested on the first day, which is a shame. Second day, this and Rathet's Garden Beg are up against Hawthorne and Dayupa, which are pretty brutal. And then the final day we've got Brentwood. So Jives' course, which I'm yet to play as well. And looking forward to that one. All right. I think these two bunkers perhaps a little close and probably drop the land behind them just a touch. I feel like all I'm focusing on is bunkers. And that's, I guess, testament to how well done everything else is. I don't know whether this is one of your pattern things. I'd have probably made these trees a little taller or put some other trees in them. They just feel very small compared to these ones over here, which they might be, but 0-1-1. Hey, plenty of good courses do really badly.
Oh man,
Let's see how this works. There's a lot. I realise there's a lot of strategy I've just completely ignored. Yeah. Likewise. Yeah, again, I think just question some of your fairway areas. Like if you're allowing a bit of fairway that you can't land and before rolling into another bunker, probably wouldn't have it at all. And therefore, I'd probably be digging this bunker in more along the same line as those, or just leaving the space because like it leaves you a pretty bad angle. I've not given myself the greatest leave. I'm a big fan of that.
Third shot. Back on the fairway.
Making a mess of it, which I really like. Nearly. Contours around the green are great. And I think that is a really bad miss where I had it. Well-designed drive ball 4. Now we're getting some moody lighting. Yeah, I think bunker sculpting, way, way better. Shaping is still a little bit of a work in progress. Like this one being on the inside of these two just feels a little odd to my eye. So I'd probably take this one and shunt it up here, and then I think it looks a bit neater. But that just comes with practice, and you've avoided bunkers for a while. Great visual off this tee, though.
I think you're gonna wind up in the fairway off the tee here.
Huh, did not see that slope.
Can I change my prediction? Because we're in the bunker. And from the fairway sand.
Sorry, Nick. You're going to get some people annoyed about that. And not unfair, I just couldn't. I think that's a lighting thing. Unfortunately, I just couldn't really see it. which again, I'm not going to blame you for. Like that the wall comes in on a different green on a different side. That's good. Over in the sand, though, that makes life easier. Might be tempted to allow, again, with your fairway bunker, I think try and run fairway around it if you can. So if you have fairway out to here and then back to here, I think you just generally get a bit of a chipping swell anyway. It's usually, I would say, good practice to try on most greens to allow one side where you can bail out. You won't do it always, but
And you just spanked it out of that bunker.
I mean,
Well,
I am loving the rock wall. Just so well done and really nicely integrated. Very cool feature.
good job with that chip shot.
We get back that shot that we dropped on the last.
And ripping out a birdie after
Just very much enjoying this.
I like to see. Okay, this hole we got a tailwind to deal with.
Hey, Lisi. I was literally just about to send you a message. If I've got time, I will try to get yours done after this. I don't have a huge amount of time, but I would love to if I can. Been meaning to get to it. I've got until 4 o'clock, so we'll see how we go. The water sits really nicely here. Might bump the front of the fairway up just a little here to make it sit a bit more above waterline, but looks great. Bunkering's good, and it is definitely making me question.
Oh, she's coming in nice to the fairway, I think.
Oh, we might get that.
All right.
Suddenly we got a good angle. The little farmland in the background does look really good. I think when the lighting comes through those clouds, it looks so nice. Always the perils with kind of like the half cloud look. That's the second one I've done that.
This will be your par putt here.
No worries, buddy. Well, I will try to do it because I would like, more than anything, I'd like to.
And after that one, scorecard says
exactly. I did say that at the start of one of the streams, but
stick it nice and close to the pin.
Really like this. Bunkers sit nicely. Like really well, actually. I think the way the land falls off the bunkers could be done a little better. You can see how you've got some of the crinkles because we've raised up pretty hard. Yeah, no doubt we'll try. Completely bailed.
Approach is leaning a bit to the right.
That is the epitome of just not wanting to hit it in the water. And that, I think, should just bounce forward and roll. Yeah.
And wouldn't it be nice?
Grass planting on the water looks awesome. Like that. The mixture of textures has been really good. Yeah, definitely so.
At 2 under for the moment. And a heads up this hole.
I think your bunker placement has been great as well, actually. We've been using it on different points of different holes. I think this one's probably a little bit of a boring tee shot if you're on a shorter driver. That I would possibly query, which is why it's good to stagger some of the bunkers. Oh, and we've got a fence. How very exciting. Just take a little bit off the driver and should end up a little short.
All right, second shot on the 10th.
Yeah, I think again we've got some points where we could be lowering or just running a circle brush around. Either or.
It didn't feel as clean as I know you can hit it.
That did not feel like the shot I hit. Oh well.
Okay, third shot.
75% of 100 should be. Not bad.
Good little shot there. Sink this, you can move down to 3 under.
Good angel. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really enjoying the way you've gotten us to the high point of the plot as well. I think that's worked out. That's a really good,
And good luck here. 6 feet to go.
probably quite a slog of a hole,
Good job. That's
in
dropped
the
off
sense
the
that
par.
a long uphill par 5 can be quite difficult to design and make interesting. I think you've managed that really well. It just sets us up for some of the holes coming back down. Also, afternoon pithy. I think bunker sizes here again could be a little bigger and fill the space a touch more. But yeah, just enjoying this.
Looking good off the tee.
Okay, I can see that.
Second shot here on the 11th.
Well, there is a tucked little pin. Huh. Actually, no. I think we can just do a pitching wedge. Thing. It's just a little too much.
Well, that approach kind of missed the
Yeah,
mark
shot
a
stone.
bit.
Yeah, we walked through the matches a little bit earlier in terms of the matches that
Chip shot.
Kenyon gets to play in.
That's pure.
He's backing himself to go 0, 1, and 1.
Okay, so that's going to keep you
Really solid.
under for the round.
I would definitely echo Matty's comments earlier that I think it's probably your best course so far. This feels a bit of a weaker hole.
Landing on the fairway.
You know, it's hard. You've got another wedge shot in, side on green. You don't really have a big feature to work with. Wonder whether you could have taken it up against the farmland and made it out of bounds or something. But sometimes it's just like, yeah, that's the start of course. Not a bad hole by any means. It's just not really got a huge amount to work with, and that's a dreadful shot.
Okay, green side sand. Let's see what you have. And for the par.
I'd say I definitely don't mind it when it goes moody.
All right, good luck here. This one's for bogey. Okay, let's see how these numbers add up now. 1 under after that one.
Nice little diddy par 3.
On that green out there.
Okay, yeah, we have all been there. Hi, Jay. I do wonder with this one why you haven't necessarily angled the green this way and put it closer to the water side. I just feel like you've got a good green complex that could go on basically any other hole. We've got a runoff towards the water that isn't really accomplishing anything other than penalising these shots and putting them in heavy rough. We've got a nice green site, but we're kind of going way away from it, which is fine. But you did that on the other par 3, which is over that way somewhere. And I get that putting greens right by the water on a short par 3 could feel like a crutch, but kind of is for a reason. That might get held up.
Might be a little strong.
It's still not an easy par 3, and like the green complex is definitely interesting. I just think when you do have that natural feature, let's use it. Like we were just saying with 12, it's much tougher when you don't have those.
Looking really good.
Add it and all.
Honestly, that was a good putt. Just didn't drop.
I definitely think the dynamic lighting is really adding to this. The fact that it's changing is
after that one, you'll stick right
is working well.
Right on this hole.
This is such a silly hole, and I really like it. You actually run fairway through the middle of it as well. Amazing. It's a very cool hazard. Please hit it. Ah. Sculpting around the wall is a bit weird. As in the way it... dips down back into the wall. Like I'd have probably smoothed out this bit, so at least it's a gentler bit. Listen, we know a few things. We've learned from people about mowing and stuff.
This next putt is for your birdie.
The wall is awesome. Right. Oh,
No, that's
just
going right by the hole, isn't it?
Huh.
This one's a 3-foot putt. Nice putt in there for par.
But again, I really like that you've thought this through and gone with using it in a different way on each hole.
Under par. Here we go. Let's stick this one nice and close to the pin.
It's a really cool green complex here as well. I think. Oh, he means for the lighting. You've got the odd little bit of weird green break that I might flatten out. So like it's falling all the way towards the front, and then there's just this tiny dip where you've used it to create the red slope. Like that really wants to be just coming still towards the front of the green, to be honest. Yeah, exactly, Matty. Which is all we want. Awesome view on this hole. Really like that you've not cluttered it.
Nice swing on that.
Oh, I didn't want to fast. You lucky?
That's a safe shot.
Not lucky.
You could go to 2 under with this putt right here.
That was.
Oh, nicely done. Got a headwind
Hey,
to deal with on
getting back over off the tee shot now. What I might have liked would be to bring in some of the underbrush or planting like closer to these areas, if at all you could. Not sure I love the blind bunker here either, because it's not really caused by anything other than this bit of land. I think you could have dipped this to little maiden green, which we like.
Oh, wonderfully struck. Okay, this is about 160 or so to the pin.
Little walking paths have been done really well as well.
All right, kick left. Safely on the green.
This pin needed a flatten. I think the reason I made the comment is just I think it's fine on these sorts of slopes when they're consistent, but when you've got a big break coming right to one side of it, I would probably lose it. Wait until the next one. Okay. I look forward to it.
That's going to do just nicely.
It's definitely not an easy course.
Here we go on the 17th hole.
Interesting waypoint. I would probably have moved your waypoint somewhere over here, but I get why you wouldn't have done, because it probably would have defaulted to not driver. That one's okay.
This one looks pretty good.
Sculpting again, just around the bunkers, I think can be neater a little.
And hitting into an elevated green on this one.
Little take on a road hole, sort of. Out of bounds just everywhere by the looks of it. Nice. On bounce or not? That I like.
That was that's some great golf I just saw on this hole. Next putt for eagle. Looking really good.
Yeah. Love the use of the out of bounds on that hole. I thought it's not too close so that it could still be used on like easier tours. And then 18 is this wild downhill par 3. With a little beer it, of course it is. No, I agree. It definitely doesn't. And I think that hole would have been worse for it. But it's close enough to make you think. Down 70. I'm not good with. I kind of know what I want to hit, and I like the. I'd have probably just to fill the space given a bit more fairway short and around the bunkers, but not that it really needs to be used. It would have just shown it off a little more. Don't think I hit the shot I wanted to. I might get lucky. I knew I wanted to hit this slope. Oh, that's such a satisfying shot to end on, even if it's not exactly how I drew it up. That is a fun pin.
Looking pretty good. And the
Love that.
drops and you will finish your
Well, there's your 17-18 finish you want. Did he? Excellent. Probably not with the slow, though, because he can actually play this game. Well, there we are. Sorrowlessfield. I mean, there's so much. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted a scorecard. There's so much positive to say. I think bunkering's getting way, way better. Some of the sculpting around them, not quite there yet. The rock wall was class. Real highlight of the course. I might have used the water just a touch more, but I appreciate that you didn't want to crutch on it. The open aesthetic was done really nicely. You got some tough matchups, as you know, but just like that can more than hold its own. And I'd say that's a step up on Rye, which was pretty good anyway. So, Lisi, I think we've got time. I've got 40 minutes, so I reckon I can probably get yours done. I just need to not have too much to say, because Kenyans I've raced through in about half an hour, and yeah, that was pretty good. All right, going to cut the stream, and we'll be right back with Lisi's.